Hi there, this is Jeanette. In today's video, I'm going to share with you some extra finishing touches that you can add to the inside of your card, as well as how I create my own envelopes and how I sort of customize them. So you can see here in this picture, I have stamped the inside of the card. So I'm going to share with you how I did that. But first, I'm going to share how I created the envelope. So my card here measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to be using the We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board to create my envelope. And it has a list of instructions here that you need to follow. And the first one is to find your card size. So I found my card size 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it'll tell you your paper size needs to be 8 1/8 by 8 1/8. So that's for that card size. So different card sizes will have different paper size requirements. So you just need to check that first. So I've lined it up in my trimmer at the 8, and then I'm shifting it over 1/8, and I'm going to cut it. And then I'll do the same on the other side. And now my paper is ready to punch and score. So the next thing it'll tell you to do is that you need to find your card size, and it'll tell you the score line. So my score line is 3 3/4. So I line up the left edge at 3 3/4, and they actually have like a little score tool there for you, so I'm using that. So I punched the top of that knob, so it's going to punch a little indent there, and I scored it. Now I'm going to take that score line and line it up with that little piece that comes out of the knob, line it up, punch and score. I'm going to rotate again lining up that score line with that little piece that comes out, punching and scoring, and then I'll do it again for this last side. So you see how it just sort of cuts a little bit out, and it'll make it easier to fold. Then you just take your little pointy bits there that are still there and just punch them with the same punch, but you're putting it in the top, and that just rounds the edges off nicely. So I'm just going to fold this really nicely. You can use your own bone folder, or I find the one that comes with it works just as nicely. Make sure that you've sort of folded them nicely. And now, for me, I don't like that little piece that sort of sticks up there. So I usually either fold it down or just trim it away completely. So I'm going to share with you how I do that. I just take my T-ruler, and I just sort of close up the envelope, and then I just line up my T-ruler right up to the part where I want to cut off, and I just draw a little line with my pencil, and then I just use a pair of sharp scissors to trim that off. So here I'm using my Tim Holtz mini scissors, which I absolutely love. They are so good. I'm so happy I bought them. So now I'm just ready to put some adhesive, but first I'm going to just erase that line in case you might see it. So you can see there's your envelope. And I like to use score pal tape to tape it down. That way I know it's really secure, it's not going to come undone. So I just add a little bit along the side. Like that. And then you can just peel that off the release paper and press it down, and just know that it is going to stay securely adhered together. Then I like to just add a little bit of score pal tape up there at the top, but I don't pull off the release paper. I leave that until it's time to put a card in and mail it. Now I'm just going to add that envelope into my MISTI, secure it down with some score pal tape, or not score pal tape, post-it tape and some magnets. And I decided I was going to take one of the little otters that comes in the stamp set and stamp it there on the corner of the envelope. So it's kind of cute because it sort of gives the receiver a little hint as to what is in the card. So I like to use Memento London Fog. So it's like a light gray ink, not as stark and dark as the Memento Tuxedo Black. So I like stamping it with something a little more subtle. And I thought I would stamp a little something on the back as well. So I'm going to choose another stamp. So I'm going to choose this little guy who's lying there, just putting him exactly where I want him, swinging that sort of arm down to pick up the stamp, inking it up, and then pressing down. Now you could even, if you wanted, color up the images. Really, you can take it as far as you want, really. And now I'm going to take the card and I'm going to line that up in my MISTI. And I'm going to stamp another one of the otters, and I thought maybe a little fish would be kind of cute there too, as well as one of the sentiments. I really like using the MISTI for this because you can line everything up and know exactly how it's going to look. So I'm going to use that same Memento London Fog ink for that part. And again, if you wanted to, you could color them. But I tend, when I'm doing this, I tend to just leave them sort of like a, not a black and white, but just an uncolored image on the inside. And then for my sentiment, I'm going to line that up so it's nice and straight. And I'm going to stamp it with a nice dark blue ink. It's actually one of the inks that I used to create the water background on the front of the card, so it ties in pretty nicely. And using the MISTI means that if it's not perfect, you could actually ink it up and stamp it again. So that's it finished. You can see now that I have the envelope that sort of slides in there, and it's personalized, and when you're done you can just peel off that little piece of score pile tape and mail it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some inspiration to try adding some of these touches to your cards and envelopes. Thanks for watching.